each of us. Yesterday about noontime, we were called out to a home in the area of Citra. That's in the north end of Marion County. Fire rescue had been called to the home in reference to an unresponsive 3-year-old child. They transported this child to the hospital. Fire rescue and the hospital staff did everything they could to save this child's life, but unfortunately she did not make it. Paisley Brown, 3-year-old, passed away. They called us because they noticed some unusual injuries and trauma to the child. So our deputies arrived at the house, and as we arrived, Deputy Basisi was told the person responsible for this is trying to leave. So at that time, he detained Mr. Jeroen Coombs, and we saved the scene what we could, locked it down, began investigating, brought our detectives out there, and asked Mr. Coombs some questions. What we learned is that at this home there were a number of other children ranging in ages from 1 to 9 years old that were also in the home. We cannot disclose relationships and names at this point, but there were some that witnessed the incident. And what we learned is that this child was punished, according to Mr. Coombs. She was taped up with painter's tape from her thighs to her ankles, and also her hands were tied and bound with a bathrobe belt tie. That's as punishment for reaching into her diaper. Again, in his words, he told our detectives that he picked this child up out of her playpen and accidentally dropped her, and that's why the injuries. But then he said, I did pop her 3 times, punching her in the chest, and notified her mother. The mother of the child was not at the scene. She was out shopping, running some errands, and was notified by phone by Mr. Coombs, and she returned home. 40 minutes after she was notified of her child being unresponsive, according to Mr. Coombs, they called 911, and that's when the paramedics arrived, and ultimately our detectives and deputies arrived. At this point, Mr. Coombs has been charged with aggravated battery on this child. He's being held with no bond right here across the street in our jail. We are still awaiting a report from our medical examiner as to give an official cause and manner of death for this little girl. When that happens, there may be some new charges that proceed from this case, and it's tragic and it's shocking. This is not something that I don't think anybody as a first responder wants to see, is prepared to see. We try to train and prepare ourselves for these type of things, but it's shocking to us just as much as it is to the public. I can tell you, it's our detectives are working hand in hand with Bill Gladson, the State Attorney Bill Gladson, and his folks over there, and as this case is progressing. It's still an active case. There's a lot of questions. I'll try to answer some questions, and just understand there's a lot that I may not be able to right now, just because of where this case is. He is, again, being held on no bond, and he's, as far as his criminal history, you may be able to pull that yourselves and see anything in that manner. That's sometimes been a question that you've had. But at this time, any questions from you guys, I can maybe try to answer for you right now. Yes. I'm sorry, say you.
How is he connected to the child's mother? Boyfriend-girlfriend relationship?
So we're understanding this is the mother's boyfriend is the situation here. Yes.
I was going to say, I mean, into that, in the report, it listed him as a caretaker. Do you know how often, or I guess how long they have been seeing each other, how long he had lived in that home prior to this?
So I don't know how long he's been living at that home. Again, these are questions that the detectives are still questioning them about, and trying to just piece this all together and paint a complete picture for us. It's yes, what we learned is that he was at home taking care of between 4 and 5 children that were there at the house while she was out. So that's between 4 and 5 children that were at the home. Ages ranging from 1 to 9 years old.
Was he often left alone with these children?
Don't know. That's our understanding right now. That's been a practice, but again, how often, I don't know.
Have deputies ever responded to this house with his family before?
Didn't see anything here that we've been to this house recently. There's, it's just a neighborhood up there in Citra, north end of our county, and I'm sure we've spoken to neighbors that are up there. They're just as shocked as anyone else.
What about DCF? Do you know any responses by that?
Yeah. So for us, I can't comment as to if they've been out there before. That's a question for DCF. However, I can tell you that any time that we have a call or a case that we go to where there's a child involved, there's been some type of violence, we notify DCF as a policy here just to let them know, hey, that we went to this call, here's what we saw, and we give them all the information we have so they can follow up and conduct their own case. Now their case, again, is going to be on them. Yes?
So, if I understand correctly, at least his older son from a prior relationship was in the house there. Is it possible they have the 1-year-old together? Is that, like, is he the father of at least one of her kids?
So the relationships there, we cannot disclose just based on the charges at this time. That may change if the charges change. But right now I can't disclose the relationships, just that there were children ranging in ages from 1 to 9 years old in that home. Just a tragic thing that was, one of those children was a witness. So for that child to witness this and have to deal with that the rest of their life is upsetting to me as a lieutenant, but it's more upsetting to me as a father.
Was the mother aware their child had been found, and was the mother also aware that he had delayed in calling 911 when he became unresponsive?
That's a great question. Did the mother know this was going on, that the child is being bound up and bound overnight, from what we can tell, because as a punishment? These are questions that we want answers to. Did she know, and was she aware of this? These are things that will, I believe, pan out in this investigation. We will have answers to those questions because for us, I think as deputies, it's a case for sure that that just piques our interest. But more, these deputies as fathers and mothers, it's something that we have to have answers to, just for our own sake, if nothing else.
So she's under investigation?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there a possibility for charges to come about for her as well?
So I wouldn't speculate on charges for her. I'm going to say they're going to look into that to see if there is anything that warrants charges, and we'll promise you that if there is, we will place those charges, and we will get with the state attorney's office. They're working with us, and we'll make sure she's appropriately charged if necessary.
On these prior cases of abuse, are you investigating those right now?
So yes, we're being told of past abuse. We do look into past abuse. We make arrests on past abuse. So that is part of it. Yes.
Were the older kids in the house able to provide details as to what happened?
Yes, we were able to speak to a witness in the house, and again, unfortunately, that witness is also a juvenile. And yes, we were able to glean information and get a little more of a picture of what took place there. I can just tell you it's a sad picture.
What are the older children, younger children? Are you able to give us an approximate age of this witness?
I'm not at this point. No.
Who are the children staying with right now, and how are they doing?
So right now, where the children are staying, I cannot say that. I can just tell you that we have contacted DCF to make sure the children are safe, to make sure the appropriate measures are taken for them and their care. I can't answer that. Don't know.
Do we know if some of the children he was taking care of belong to other parents, in which case they're also obviously concerned about what's going on? Was he watching neighbor kids sometime, or are they all just the mom of Paisley?
No, it's a great question. So whether there was other children in the house that belonged to him or to neighbors even or something like that, don't know that. And the relationship of whose kid was whose, or if there are other, I'm sure there are other parents or that are relatives that are involved here, and that's going to play out. But in the investigation, we'll figure those out, and the relationships and any speculation or accusations of former abuse. Absolutely, like we said before, we're going to pursue those as well.
Was the mother home last night? I know I asked if she was aware of her child was found, but did she leave the house this morning? Was she gone overnight?
So when we received the call yesterday, if I mentioned your question correctly, so yes, at noon we're getting this call that was called in 40 minutes after she found out about this.
The night prior is what I meant. Was she home the night prior to this? Did she leave home that morning?
We're being told that she left that morning to go to run some errands, and that was what she indicated to us was going to a post office, tax office, and getting her nails done.
Could you give us a sense of his demeanor when you got took him into custody? Did he seem to show any remorse or anything?
Deputies didn't indicate that he resisted in any way or that he was argumentative or anything like that. Just that he was compliant, and his words to our detectives very understated. He said, "I went too far. I took it too far," and we couldn't agree with him more. This is more than just too far. This is the death of a small 3-year-old little girl, and for those deputies, firefighters, medical staff that had to try to help her, It's a sight they're not going to forget. And any feelings that he has, to be honest with you, we don't care. We're going to go after justice, whatever that path is.
We witnessed yesterday a woman yelling at some of your deputies about calling DCF prior. Who is she? Is she cooperating with you right now?
I don't know. We're speaking to a lot of neighbors, friends, family, any kind of familiar connections that we have to this family to know, to learn anything that we can about this family, about the previous incidents that we're investigating. So don't know who this particular person is, but again, anything with DCF, I can't speak to a DCF case, and that's going to be a question for them that they may or may not be able to talk to.
This time for any of these kids at this home?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Have you looked into hospital visits at this time for any of the kids at the home?
Our detectives are looking at all that, so they'll get with DCF investigators, they'll get with state attorneys investigators, and again, when this is all said and done, we'll have a very clear painted picture for all this.
Did the doctors indicate that there were older injuries on Paisley at the hospital? Maybe it might have been weeks or months old.
So the medical report there, what doctors indicated initially, that's not been released. Those are some things that I'm sure will come out. Their findings and their what alerted them, what alarmed them, that will come out. But yes, they did find traumatic injuries on this child that caused alarm for them and caused us to be called to this scene. So.
Any idea why it took so long for them to call 40 minutes after?
So 40 minutes to call 911. We teach 4-year-olds how to call 911 in an emergency. And I can tell you, again, as a lieutenant, I don't understand. As a father, I have less understanding as to why, if you're told your child is unresponsive, was all she's being told, it took 40 minutes to call 911. I don't have an answer for that. That's a question that only she can answer.
I don't know if you can answer this, but would that 40 minutes possibly have taken a factor in safety?
So in traumatic injuries, as a former paramedic myself, there is what's called a golden hour. Golden hour after traumatic injury is the time you have to really get at this injury, treat this injury and these symptoms, and every second helps. So was that a contributing factor? I don't know. Don't know if this child, if that would have saved the child's life or not. However, again, like we teach 4-year-olds, call 911 immediately if there's an emergency. There's no reason to delay. All right, just time for one more question if anybody's got a question. Hopefully I have some more information for you soon, as this is, again, very active case, and I think we'll have some more developments here in the coming days, but we will keep you updated. Thank you.
Thank you.